because the undereducated torn.
All right, fellas, welcome to Real Talk Underground. It is a real honor to have Grade 2 on the show. My boys are coming to you straight from the Isle of Wight in the UK. And let me just say, I'm fucking loving the sounds that you boys got blaring out of your speakers. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you for having us, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I just got to say, I'm so happy that this music is still alive and well in 2021 because I thought, this sound was done with. I didn't know, especially, guys your age. You guys are how old right now? You guys are pretty young, rather in your 20s?
Yeah, I'm 23 and Jack's 22.
Oh, man. Fucking A.
Yeah, I turn 23 next month. Is it next month? No, 2 months from now, yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I really love what you guys are doing. It's very reminiscent of early oi punk, like the Business, the Jam. It reminds me of it has that spirit of '69, with the touch of modernness. So I love it. I really love what you guys are doing because this music's very near and dear to my heart. So I have a lot I want to talk to you guys about today. So let's start off with where it all began. So we'll start with Jack. Tell me about the origins of Grade 2, some of the bands you guys grew up on, and how you guys decided you wanted to take the music all the way. So Jack, you're up.
So it kind of started all around, Sid kind of got it started for us, for me and Jacob, basically, me and Jacob, the drummer, because we weren't so into punk before we even met Sid. Sid was brought up on it, and Sid's dad was a bit of a skinhead, so he kind of grew up on all this stuff and had that influence. And I was just some kid who kind of liked playing guitar. I just listened to I liked a lot of pop punk. I was into like Sum 41, just like Green Day, AC/DC, a lot of just rock stuff. But I never really delved into proper punk. So Sid introduced me to that when I was like 14. That's when we properly started playing together. He said, like, do you want to try jam out some of these songs? We had like the Jam, the Clash, Dropkick Murphys, and I was like, oh shit, this stuff's pretty good. Like, and it just what got me into it. So like I didn't really grow up on it, and I was newly introduced to it, and ever since I've been learning since. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I've been on a bit of a journey, a bit later than maybe Sid had been or other people, but I was still quite young, I guess, when we started, so it was still a lot of influence was gained around that time. But so for me, I actually took a lot of influence from more modern oi bands. When I started listening, I was listening to things like Lion's Law, Rude Pride, and all the bands that we'd been touring with around Europe, basically. And they were like, I was like, wow, these bands are sick, and now these are my new favorite bands. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where I got a lot of our sound from. Is the more modern bands for me personally.
Right on, man. I love that. So then it sounds like Sid is the mastermind here. So same question, Sid. How did this all start then? I mean, it sounds like you're the brains of the organization. So tell me how it all started.
Yeah. I don't know, really. I remember we were at a house party and it was New Year's Eve, and me and Jacob had been friends years before because we used to play football together. So going through high school, we were always like still mates, and we were at this party and he told me that he had just bought an electric drum kit and he'd started playing drums. And
Nice.
at the time, I had just paid £5 for a bass off a friend of ours as well that he kept in his shed. Absolutely shit. Like, the bass had so much wrong with it, but I bought it. Learned Peaches by the Stranglers. And I remember telling him, I was just like, we should play that together. Let's do that. And then we had, we all got together a few months later on, and a friend of ours had come back from Cyprus and we were all planning to meet up. But we were at my house on that day and Jack was here as well. And I remember saying, it was like the light switch moment. It was like, right, he plays guitar, you've got a drum kit, I can play one song on bass. Let's do it. We're going to be a band. Right. Got a list of, I think we wrote down 8 songs. So we're going to cover these songs and this is it. We're away. And that was like how it started, really.
Now, moving on, discussing more of the albums. So obviously you guys had a great time recording Mainstream and Break the Routine. And it's really amazing how those 2 records came out You mentioned Mainstream wasn't even intended to be an album, yet it did. And then, you followed it up with Break the Routine, which was obviously amazing. Let's talk about Graveyard Island. So is that your latest album?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I read somewhere that Sid, you grew up listening to Rancid. Is that right?
That is right. Yes.
So
Forever.
what was it like then creating and recording a record alongside of Tim Armstrong, the Tim Armstrong? I mean, that must have been a dream come true for you, man.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start, really. I've got videos of me probably 4 years old singing at like a family dinner Time Bomb with the lyrics in the complete wrong order. Like, absolutely terrible. And I used to have this DVD, the Punkorama DVDs that had Salvation on, and it had Nile Islam on it. And I listened to those tracks religiously, watched the videos, tried to recreate the videos, getting a marker and writing punks on my knuckles to be like Lars. Like, you name it, as a kid, I did it. Got a
PUNX
Mohegan every summer. The lot. So, yeah, when we got told
You
like,
weren't
this is
fucking
the
around,
deal, it's
Sid.
yeah, man, it was like shit. Like, this is going to be crazy, and it was like literally like how many people have the opportunity to work with someone they would consider a hero? I have no idea. So it was quite a surreal moment each day, like strolling into the studio and knowing who we were working with, and it's still blows my mind even now.
And Jack, how did you feel about that, signing with Hellcat Records and building your album alongside two legends, Lars Frederiksen and Tim Armstrong?
Yeah, I mean, it was just as surreal for me as well. I couldn't believe it myself. But obviously, I feel like maybe I was slightly less starstruck than Sid might have been, just because I didn't literally grow up. But obviously, I still, absolutely was such an honor. But I felt like after the initial meeting, I remember standing outside the studio in LA, sitting there waiting for Tim to rock up out the side with our guitars, and we see him just pull up down the road, just walking down. And we're just, oh my God, is that Tim Armstrong? And we were just like, fucking hell, it's actually him.
Dude.
And then we shook hands. We were like, hi, we're great too. And then it was just totally cool though. It wasn't like you're sitting in a room with this almost like a celebrity. It was just like he was sitting with a mate. Like, he's such a chill guy, and we got on with him so well.
Right.
And straight away there was that chemistry.
Fuck yeah.
And it was just so comfortable. Like, and it was just fun and really enjoyable experience. So like, honestly, after the initial meeting, I was like, well, doesn't even feel that weird anymore. It's just like, cool, we're going to record now with Tim. Let's do it. Like, it felt like he was just a mate of ours, didn't it? By the end of it.
Now, I want to switch gears here. As I was listening to your records, I noticed the overall theme pays homage to the everyday struggles of life. So, was life tough for you guys growing up? And if so, tell me about what life was like growing up in Ryde and how that reflects in your music.
I'll be honest, mate. I'm not going to sit and pretend like we came from some poor family and like struggles on like rough streets, because we didn't. Like, the Isle of Wight's a lovely place. We always had food. Like, we didn't really have a massive struggle. Like, but it's more about just like, I think like the boredom of youth and stuff, isn't it? Like, and the early days. I don't know. Sid was the main songwriter from the early days. So Sid, maybe you can pitch in, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like, I always tried to write about what was happening around, like anything that was like happening at the time, or if there was like someone I know that like something had happened to them and there was a story that was relatable, then it would be written about. And I definitely felt like growing up that it was very easy to fall into a cycle of what was meant to be, that you leave school. A lot of people would have a kid really young, then they would get a job, then they're stuck in that job, and that's that. And it was not as much like, oh, we grew up in like a ghetto where there's like trouble and you're gonna get like there's like gangs running around the street or whatever. It's more just like we're stuck in a loop and there's like, how'd you get out of it? And that was the struggle in a sense.
Got
It's
it.
like, what is my way out of it? And it was, I still feel the same way. Like we're still here, and it's just like that frustration of that. And I feel like a lot of other people of our age from a small town where there's no big opportunity, there's nothing big to jump into. You're limited. You're capped off really, and it's the whole build of fuck it, go do what you want and make the most of it, kind of thing. But documenting what is happening along the way to get to that point.
Got you. Yeah. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. But so yeah, I want to hear more of these. I know there's something crazy in there. I got to get the crazy stories out of you guys. So tell me about tour life. You know, do you like it?
Sorry, I'm sidetracking, aren't I? Trying to give myself more time to think. No, go on, Sid. Go on, Sid.
All right, so we put our first ever gig in Greece. We went and played in Athens, and the night we landed, we got absolutely hammered. We had discovered this drink called an Irish car bomb, which is half a pint of Guinness, a shot of Baileys, and a shot of whiskey, and you have to neck it before it curdles.
Oh, fuck me.
So we were drinking those shots of whiskey, and we were drinking cider. Actually, we weren't even drinking beers. Got so drunk. Jacob puked outside of the
cider
bar, which was seen as like a massive sign of disrespect. Like, so they were already like pretty pissed at us. They were just like,
he was
"Who
pissed.
are these
The
guys?"
owner was so pissed.
So then the next night we played, and they were like, "Don't drink, don't drink, just play the show." And it's like, "Yeah, no worries, everyone's hungover anyway." But we went to a bar when we finished, and the guy that was driving us started drinking, and then he was doing shots, and it was like, "Oh, hello," and he was like, "Right, time to go." So we left, and as he pulled out of his parking spot, he hit a taxi driver, not like hard, but he's like pulling out of a parking spot and tapped this guy. This guy's turned around and is like, "You motherfucker, you like just hit me." So like he's tried to stop. Our driver's drunk, so he's like, "Fuck this, I'm gonna go." There's two police over the other side of the road that have just seen the whole thing. So then we end up in this full-blown police chase with like 3 cars behind us. 2 end up coming in front, and Jack's like, "Just pull over, just pull over, pull over." We end up getting pulled over. His car got took to the like whatever it is, the pound. He handed us €20, and he was just like, "Thanks for coming to Greece. See you later." And that was it. Yeah, man, it was literally like full blown.
Never saw him again.
Oh my god, you guys, you guys got so lucky, especially the driver, because anywhere else in the world, I mean, at least like in where the economy is a little bit more decent, you guys would have been in jail like at the fucking drop of a hat, man.
I think the thing, yeah, because it was Athens, it wasn't actually a big deal. Like the guy just didn't give a shit that he'd just been arrested. I'm pretty sure he probably just got a slap on the wrist and that was it. You know what I mean? I think this is quite a common thing in Athens.
Yeah. I was short a couple dollars actually in the taxi in Athens, and I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry, we're short." And he goes, "Yeah, it's okay." I'm like, "What?" It's just the shit that they let slide.
There's no rules over there, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So nice story. With that being said, what does the future of Grade 2 look like moving forward? What would be your guys' biggest goal?
Go on, Sid.
Oh, biggest goal. Damn. I don't even know. The future's busy. I know that much. There's a lot of plans in the works. We're going to be back on the road like never before, really. There will be another album. We're not sure when, but we're working on it now. We've demoed a lot of songs. There's like a lot of demos. But as for a goal,
good.
I don't know. A few sellout gigs would be nice. If we can get to the point of a few sellouts, I'd be fucking happy with that after a year of not playing.
I think that's a really good goal, and I think it's realistic, Sid, because people are dying to get back to music venues, especially after what's happened to the world. So I think your dream's gonna come true, man.
I hope so. I'm going to take your word for it. If not, I'll be truly disappointed.
Well, how about this? I'll buy a fucking ticket. Thank you guys for being on the show. I really, really fucking appreciate you guys coming on. I love your music. Sid, Jack, it's been a pleasure having you guys on the show. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys in person, maybe even possibly collaborating in the future, sharing a stage. Who knows? Sky's the limit. But keep doing what you guys are doing. I love the fucking music. Cheers to you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Kick ass in your session. And I hope to have you guys on next time to follow up on your new album.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, you guys. All right. Grade 2. Much love. Cheers.